Have you ever uttered these words?
But I've tried everything.
Everything. And you deeply, deeply meant it. You've actually done the meditation. You've tried switching up how you're looking at things. You've talked to other people, and you still feel like you're in the same box.
Hey, Soul Warriors, we want to welcome you to our podcast. Soul Intentions is here to drop the wisdom, tools, and real life experiences that helped us transform our lives so that we can shine without the struggle. We want to share everything we have learned so that you can do the same.
Today, we're going to talk about 7 different ways you can surrender to the universe. We see this in our coaching clients all the time. They come to us, we ask our initial questions, they launch into their story, and we ask them what they've tried, and that's what they say almost every single time. And that's when we know that surrender is the answer.
I know that it's hard to do. A lot of us don't like to surrender. We look at it as a weakness sometimes. But surrender is, I think, the top one thing that you can do to really start shifting things in your life. So surrender is a good thing.
Absolutely. It's powerful. And it actually can be quite simple when you get out of your own way.
Yeah.
So some of you might be like, what the fuck is surrender? Like, I don't even get what that is. So I love this book. I'm going to show you this. We have the 1 Minute Wisdom by Anthony DeMello. It's super powerful. And he has a little thing called trust, and it sums up surrender perfectly. So it starts with a story and then ends with a different story.
Cool.
So you have 2 opportunities to get it. So trust. The master would frequently assert that holiness was less a matter of what one did than of what one allowed to happen. To a group of disciples that had difficulty understanding that story, he told the following story. There once was a one-legged dragon who said to the centipede, "How do you manage all those legs? It's all I can do to manage just one." "To tell the truth," said the centipede, "I do not manage them at all." And
It's about trusting.
it's about trust. It's about faith. That is what surrender is. Because a lot of us go around and we're deep in our faith and we pray. And that's the part where he talks about it's less of a matter of what one did. So it's less of a matter if you prayed or you did the meditation. Are they important parts? Yes, because they assist you in surrendering. But it's less a matter of what you did than what you allowed to happen. So after you're praying, after you're meditating, are you then like letting go and let God, as they say? Or are you then having faith in the universe that the universe is working and conspiring on your behalf?
Right.
We say we do,
But we don't.
but a lot of times we don't.
No, we don't. We like to micromanage it. We get impatient. We start to doing the, I've done all the things, and yet here nothing has manifested, because now instead of allowing and waiting and letting it unfold, you are putting in the energy of resistance, because you are consistently looking at it as though it's not here yet, or what happened, or did I not do this right, did I, all those
What
things.
am I missing?
What am I missing?
I have to figure this out. That's a big one
Exactly.
too.
So now you're putting out the energy to the universe as saying, I am not in a comfortable place.
Yep. And I want to keep spinning around in this orb of figuring out and
Right.
doing, instead of allowing and opening and receiving.
Right.
So
You got to trust.
Yeah, you got to trust. And we're not saying that action isn't a valid, important piece of this.
Well, that's what the prayers and the meditation
Exactly.
is for. That's the physical action that you're taking to make sure that things are going to manifest in the manner in which you wish them to be. But then you have to really sit back and trust and allow.
So you can take a look at, are you not trusting yourself, or are you not trusting the universe? Your coach actually, he told a brilliant story a few days ago. So Dallas Michael Sear, amazing coach. You should follow him. Dallas said that a lot of you probably heard the Powerball was I think it was a Powerball, was really big. And he asked a friend if they wanted to go in on a ticket. And she said that she had never played the lottery before. And she asked how it worked. And he said, well, these are spiritual people, so you can tap in with your intuition and figure out, and get what numbers really resonate with you and play those. Or you can do a quick pick, which is kind of like allowing the computer or allowing the universe to just give you the numbers that best align with you. And she's like, oh, that's really cool. Can I do both? And he's like, why would you want to? Either you're really solid and you trust your intuition and you're going forward with that, or you're really solid and you trust the universe and you have complete faith and you go with that. You're going with both. You're kind of like covering both bases, which is saying you're not trusting one, the other, or both of them. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a brilliant analogy to really drive home surrender.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're second guessing yourself, your ability, your God, your spirit, your everything, then, it's going to get confused, because whatever that predominant energy that you're putting out, that's what's going to come back at you. So if the uncertainty, the not feeling full of confidence in what you're asking for, that's what you're going to get more of. Mm-hmm. So you want to surrender. You want to let it unfold. You want to trust that what you're wanting to create is going to manifest in the way that you wish it to manifest, as long as you trust it and surrender to it.
And get out of the way with what it has to look like. Because you might come up in your head with like, this is what the person of my dreams looks like and talks like and sounds like, and that's okay to do. But then be open to whoever walks into your life and exploring that. Because we have a limited view of what we put our vision into, of what we already know. And what the universe can actually supply to you is beyond, and what God can supply to you is beyond your wildest dreams. Right. It's outside of the realm of your very limited thinking and dreaming. So don't stay like hard line attached. Well, that person didn't exactly have like one blue eye and one green eye and was 6'4.5". And well, that's really short, but well, unless you want a short man or a short woman, who knows? Or an average woman, I should say. So the universe is always responding to what you're putting out in the world. So if you're putting out, like if you're really hurt, you're coming from a wounded place and you're guarded because say you've been, hurt growing up by parents, or you've been hurt in relationships, you're going to start aligning with a lot of people who also have deep wounds and have trauma and who are also guarded. And you're going to come together and be like, oh my God, this is my soulmate. It's going to feel really good because you're seeing kind of a mirror image of parts of yourself.
Right.
And then when it goes to shit, it's like, another person that I ended up with that, couldn't handle their stuff and blah, 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 blah. And it's always this other person and what's going on, or the boss or whatever situation. And it's looking outward. So how can you turn that inward and say, okay, what in me needs to be healed? What in me is guarded? What in me is, whatever that person reflected back to you that I can actually work on? That's where my work is. And how can I improve that and shift that vibration and change that within myself? And then different people will start coming into your life. So if you find a loop and a pattern of the same type of job, the same type of friends, the same type of relationships, really take a look at where you need to heal, or where you need to increase your vibration or shift your vibration, or especially your defense mechanisms and your old habits and patterns of how you walk in relationships and how you show up at jobs.
I mean, you can see the message, the theme here, that it all comes down to you. Whatever is happening inside of you, it's what's going to come out around you. So, if you have faith, you surrender, you trust, all those things that you say that you are, that you do, that you believe in, but then at the same time, you're like, putting in all those little whatever, things are not going to flow the way they should. I mean, trust is trust. Surrender is surrender. Faith is faith. And you have to abide by that, if you will, to make sure that you're in the right vibration of the things that you want to create. The minute you veer off with uncertainty or any kind of low vibrational energy that might come into your mind, that might come into your heart, it automatically derails everything. So you have to be diligent of really focused on that. At the same time, like, I trust the universe is going to provide for me in any way, shape, or form. Done.
Done.
I mean, that's the simple part of it. It's not really that complicated.
And do your work around, like, if you do get derailed, like she was speaking of, it's not failure. That is an opportunity. Because wherever if you got derailed into anger, if you got derailed into, like, woe is me, if you got derailed into finger pointing at something or somebody else, that is an opportunity for you to look at, okay, what in here needs to shift, and then I can get that vibration back on track bigger and better. You're not always going to be nailed in, dialed in constantly.
Right.
It's an on and off path, and it's like opportunities to grow and get better and get higher.
But when you're aware of it, it's easy for you to kind of, get back on track.
Veer right back.
It's not going to take 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years for you to get back on track. The minute you see it, you automatically
you shift
it, and it continues on.
And you'll notice it getting quicker and quicker and quicker the more you practice it.
But it's being really, really aware of yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and really your capability to allow the universe to bring to you what you are requesting. That's kind of how it works. I know that there are some steps here to help
let's
with
take
all
a
this
look
stuff.
at that. So we had written in our soul note, if you're not there, look in the bio below about our soul note. You can sign up for that. It's weekly messages from your soul right into your inbox. They're totally free and they're really powerful. We sit and channel these things into exactly what you need to hear every single week to just keep nudging your soul and your growth forward and keep you moving. So in this soul note, we talked about this, and we said the surrender is always the answer, and it can be a challenging task, and mainly because, number one, it means looking at parts of yourself that you don't want to face or that you're commonly ignoring. So if you're a person that you feel less than, or you feel not worthy, or you feel not good enough a lot, like you're really hard on yourself, you'll notice people that are like strong and seem well-spoken or seem to have their shit together. And none of us have our shit together. That's just an aside. But these are opportunities for you to like watch that person and have them mirror the confidence that's inside of you. So it can start coming out. They can be an inspiration to you. We commonly see people go into the comparing mode. Well, it's easy for them to talk in front of people, and you're kind of like shitting on their energy that you wish you had, and you do. You just haven't been able to embrace it to bring it out yet, or you do in moments, I should say. So that can be an opportunity for you to like, okay, mirror behavior, or you'll get people that come into your orb that are also feel unworthy, and then you'll see, oh, like this is my new best friend because they think just like me, like they get me. And then you can go into that death spiral of talking about our less thanness. And so the vibration is so low, but you feel good because somebody else got you.
Someone said to me years and years ago, oh my God, I haven't thought of this person in like forever, just to right now. They always used to say misfits always find each other. And what a true statement, because at the time, the people I was with and she was part of it, we were all, you would look at the group and we were a bunch of misfits, man.
I want to give you a quick message before we get back to this episode. Unlock the secrets of your soul for free with Soul Notes. Say goodbye to feeling stuck and hello to the validation of your alignment. These weekly prompts are filled with reminders, gentle nudges, and sometimes a kick in the ass, all with love from your soul. Don't just take our word for it. Try Soul Notes for yourself and see the difference it can make in your life. Trust us, your soul and you will thank you. Just go to soulnote.org. That's SOULNOTE.org. Now back to our podcast.
Bunch of misfits, man. and we all gathered and we got along and we all had our shit and we all did all the things that we needed to do. But at the same time, there was so much turmoil in each and every one of us that even though that we were saying, oh, we want this, we want that, you know, all the turmoil that was inside of us prevented every single one of those things that we were thinking, dreaming, wanting.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what she said at that point. One evening, we were all just kind of hanging out, and she's just like looking at us, and we're looking at her, and she just says that, you know, misfits always find each other.
And that's probably because each of you deep down wanted somebody that got you.
Yeah.
So that's what showed up.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, look at all this shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, this is, you know, God, universe. This is not what I ordered. I ordered a $70 million beach house and a, you know, gorgeous other half.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And you always find what's matching you in the moment. So again, like if that inspirational person comes in front of you, like some part of you is calling in that.
Right.
And like, that's the universe showing up for you. It's
Right.
not the universe saying, ha, see, you are less. Look at this other person. Like the universe is not spiteful like that.
Yeah. No.
It can have a sense of humor, but
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to the mindset, what we've been talking about for many, many years. That's what it comes down to. You know, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're taking action towards. Those are the things that are really speaking to the universe. So when you know yourself well and you vibrate in the highest form that you can and you stick to that as much as possible. I know life can be challenging, but you know, when you're on solid ground, it doesn't matter what's going on around you, because you're gonna manage that. You're gonna manage who you are and your feelings, and your goals and dreams will be your focal point. As to what you want, and again, allowing, trusting, and letting things unfold, because they're there. You know, things for us are in abundance, and you know, half of the time we forget that because we get so impatient and we start doubting ourselves and our, you know, or putting into play, you know, do I deserve this, that kind of shit. You know, we deserve what we think we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So if you deserve a certain way, stick to that. If you want a certain thing, stick to that. You know, and whatever happens in between, go with the flow.
yeah.
Go with the flow, because those are all opportunities to change, to grow, to shift, to add, to delete, to do all the things that you need to do, so that the end goal is what comes, you know, to fruition at the end of this line. So, but it really truly does come down to trust, faith, and surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the universe will give you little drips of it to see what you do with it. So if they put that like confident person in front of you that maybe could be a mentor, like you could walk up to and like, you know, I really love your energy. Like, you know, what's your secret? And let them share their wisdom with you. I mean, and maybe they were actually really feeling crappy inside, and that's the moment, like, you were actually the confident one. You walked up to them and you fed them some really awesome energy that made them feel good inside. Like, you never know.
Right.
So don't prejudge what's going on.
Yeah.
And I also know the more that, like, the deeper that I get into soul intentions, I'm working on it more than I'm out, you know, hanging out with misfits and just doing things that don't light up my soul, because that's what people do. Like, I intentionally do things if it's feeling good for me, if it's feeling fun for me, if it's feeling like strong and aligned for me.
Mm-hmm. And I advise you not to be rigid either.
Yes.
You know, because it's cool to be a certain way, but if you can't fucking laugh, if you can't have fun, and if you can't be, you know, outside of the box as much as you can, you're being too rigid in your practice. And that is a form of resistance as well, because you're trying to control it.
Yes.
You know, so don't be rigid. Be loose, be flowy, be creative, be all those things, so that it can come into fruition for you. So,
and that's what the centipede was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't manage them at all. Rigidity is trying to manage everything.
Right.
doing all the things. I'm checking all the boxes. I'm reading all the books. I've done all, drank the Kool-Aid, wore the T-shirt.
Right.
Why am I not at Disneyland yet?
Yeah. We all
Like-
have a checklist of our perceptions of things. So we have a checklist. Yes, no, and you add to it what you must. But again, rules, lists, all those things can be chucked in the fucking trash when things aren't going the way it should be, and right away when things aren't feeling good. The minute something doesn't feel good, bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck that fucking list out into the trash and go from the place that is authentic to you. The higher vibration you stick to of your sovereignty, the better things manifest.
Period.
Period.
So number 2, the way to surrender to the universe is looking at our part in the stories that are playing out. So we kind of touched on this a little bit, like this person did this, that person did that, and this is why I have to bounce. Instead of, what was your pain point that was triggered in that made that entire relationship fall apart? How did you show up for that job that then made it go south?
Right.
And sometimes it's just you have a very hurt person on the other side, and that's when you employ your compassion towards them. Not like, fuck you. Like, we all like to do that sometimes. Like, fuck you, I'm out. And some situations do call for that. But others is like, okay, that's a really hurt person. This isn't healthy for me anymore. Here's my 2 weeks notice. Like, it doesn't have to be... And endings don't have to be so dramatic and so tragic, and they don't have to be so hard. It can just be a simple shift, like, this is me surrendering. I'm getting loud and clear that this is not for me anymore, that this isn't working. Or try a few things, like, okay, I showed up for work and just did this. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to try this instead. And maybe that'll shift things a little bit, or I'm going to tell a joke instead of just shoving my head in my cubicle and, see if that works. And if the energy's not shifting as you're shifting internally, then the situation is ready for you to exit.
Right.
And just do it in the most graceful, respectful, compassionate way that you possibly can. And it's not because I have to find compassion to that person that's yelled at me every day for 5 days. If you can do that, bonus points to you, but it's really compassionate to yourself that you're not leaving in a big dramatic way that leaves a huge scar that then is another wound that you have to try to recover from.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, stepping out of victimhood. Kind of just touched on that. It's that boss's fault, it's that lover's fault, it's that friend's fault, it's everyone's fault but mine.
Yeah, you have to, you always take responsibility for your part in the situation. It takes 2 to tango.
And we have a soul wisdom on victimhood too.
Yeah,
so if you need to understand a little bit more about that, check that out.
So you need to take your responsibility. You need to.
That's number 4. Spotting when we can take responsibility for what has been created in our world.
Listen, notice it's all coming right back to you. Right back to you, because that is all that matters. That is the only thing you can control. So if you're aware of your thoughts, again, aware of your feelings, again, aware of your actions, again,
aware of your spirituality and your soul.
Exactly. You just keep repeating that to yourself, and then every time something happens or something shifts, it's easy for you to find the lesson in that, so that it benefits you versus it becoming some sort of a dramatic thing in your life. We love doing why the fuck is this happening to me?
Yes.
Did you ever come to wonder that you are the common denominator in each situation? Think about that.
Not saying it's all your fault, because we all co-create things, but when you're in a space with somebody else, it's both of your energies mixing.
Yeah.
So it's never 100% somebody else.
Yeah. The more aware you are of yourself, the easier things get.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for you at the moment, real time, to shift your thought, your actions, your everything. So, why not practice that? take those opportunities instead of being, oh my God, this is fucking happening to me again.
Yep.
Do more of like, oh shit, it's happening again. I need to do something to shift that. You know, I need to figure out what the lesson is here so that I can, you know, again, shift that so that it doesn't continue to happen. Listen, the things that happen in your life are the byproduct of whatever you're thinking, feeling, and acting on. Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to. So if you want the good shit to come your way, keep it simple, keep it authentic, and stay in your fucking vibration that will create the things that you want. I mean, it's simple to me, but I know I'm a little different than most, but I think it's that simple.
You've been practicing it for a really long time.
I have. You know, not that it came easy, but you know, it's putting things into practice.
It's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah.
So it's keep reminding yourself less complicated, not believing all the thoughts that you have, and just boiling it back down. Like when we're saying take responsibility in a situation, if somebody else is being a super like angry asshole or whatever, condescending or whatever it is, we're not saying that I have to take half responsibility in this because Tara and Wolf said, like, your responsibility in that piece could simply be that you're not drawing a boundary or you're not honoring yourself. Like, you're not standing up and saying, whoa, 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 whoa. I get you're really angry like right now, but you can't talk to me like that. And please, you know, can we just take a breath, take a step back, and, you know, you just standing in your sovereignty, like she said. Mm-hmm. So when you look at yourself, it's not like, where is my fault lie? That's not it.
No.
It's like, where can I be more in my power in this moment or in that moment? Where could I have been more in my power? So next time that could be like top of mind, that if I get in this situation again, I'm going to draw a boundary. If I get in this situation again, you know, I'm going to politely leave.
Right.
If you can, politely leave. All right, next one. Number 5. We talked about this too. Pointing inward instead of outward. If ever you feel words coming out of your mouth about that person should or that person did or right back at you immediately, as quick as you can catch it. That's where your awareness comes in.
Right.
Number 6, relinquishing control and truly having faith. Talked about that. No micromanaging, no holding on tight. You don't have to hold on tight to your dream. Mm-hmm. You don't have to hold on tight to your values. You know what they are. Mm-hmm. You don't have to hold tight to your spirituality. You just exist in that energy and you be your spirituality. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a lot of this is just like loosening up a little bit, a lot of it. That might just be the missing piece, is you're just too you're too on it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome for like a lot of people that have become overachievers. Like, they're accomplishing a lot, so when they hit those walls, it's like, what the hell? I always, you know, I fly through this stuff, I fly past other people with this. Why? Mm-hmm. And it's because you're too like head down, accomplish, challenge, and you're not like, whew. Like, truly, are you relaxing into it? Are you really enjoying it and celebrating it? Like, take a look at those type of things if that speaks to that's part of you.
Yeah.
Number 7, when we are fully called, this is when surrender is when we're fully called to walk our spiritual talk. Because a lot of spiritual people, a lot of religious people can spout out the Bible verses and have the bumper sticker and wear the cool Namaste t-shirt. But
while you're doing thinking and acting
totally
in a
different,
very bad way, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so you know it, but you're not being it.
Exactly. And you're not having faith in it. So you have to act up.
So part of the soul note we had written that this is when the student becomes the master, because they are no longer holding on to being the master of their universe. A lot of things, programming has gone in to tell us, oh, you're the master of your universe. You create whatever you want. You do, but the universe is responding. So really checking all those things. If stuff isn't flowing the way you want it, somewhere you're controlling it way too tight and not allowing it to flow in.
Exactly.
This is when you become one with the universe.
You gotta have that balance. You really, really do. Gotta have that balance of that deep desire for something while incorporating the fun, the joy, the those really high vibrational energies into the mix so that it's completely balanced in a way that is going to, really nourish your soul pretty much. And it gives you that faith, if you will, to that, yes, this is exactly what I want, what I need, what I'm wishing and wanting, and that's the vibration I'm going to hold on to, loosely.
And the last question our clients always ask us about this topic is, how will I know when I'm in surrender? How will I know when I'm there? So we're going to close with that. You will know when you are 100% okay with you. Okay?
Be kind.
Peace.